One of people's, and when I say people's, I mean haters' biggest gripe about Boruto is how Boruto, in the beginning, really said a lot of bad things about Naruto, and seemingly hated on his own father, which is, if you like Naruto, I can kind of see that. But what I don't understand is how you can say this 7 to 8 years later. Yes, Boruto has been running for almost a decade and people are still going on about something that happened at the very beginning, and if I'm generous, around like the first 9 chapters, give or take a few, if even. So today I will take the time out of my day to explain why he not only did not hate his father, but why Boruto throughout the entirety of part 1 grew into a well-written and mature character, one who can even compare to characters from Naruto. He is already and will continue to grow into a fully fleshed out and likable character. First, let's start with what people often misinterpret as blind hate or hate at all for his father, Naruto. Now, most people get this idea because of how Boruto is talking about he wished his father wasn't Hokage and putting forth his dislikes for how Naruto is always busy. But if the haters actually took the time to read the series and understand it, they would also understand how Boruto is a child needing his father's or parents' attention and longs for the approval of his father, even wanting to defeat his dad in combat to gain his approval. Him getting mad at Naruto's clone dropping the cake is understandable. Regardless of Naruto being tired from work, he is watching how his father's job is affecting his little sister, him, and his mother alike, whom he loves very much, while also thinking about how it seems that Naruto is neglecting his family and duties for the people who aren't even related to him by blood or the village. All of this as a child would lead to bad emotions building up and forming into a rebellious nature. This is completely understandable for an 11 to 12-year-old boy. This is further explained when Boruto tries again to gain his father's approval or be noticed in the tuning exams. When he gets caught cheating, he blurts out, "Later you'll talk to me. Later, do you actually have that kind of time? If you had talked to me and taught me in the first place, things would never have come to this." Boruto also yearns for love and approval of his father, no matter what he says, so this causes him to cheat in the tuning exam and Rasengan training, in order to finally win the respect of Naruto, the Hokage, and father. We begin to see the symbolism of him cheating and going against Naruto's words of the Shinobi way in tuning exams when we see Boruto's clothing. They become almost dirty while the stone face of his father is looming over him, showing how he has cheated and lied, becoming a dirty person or bad shinobi. This lesson is even further paralleled when Momoshiki meets Naruto, and his entire philosophy is built on using drugs to gain quick access to power. Whereas Naruto trained hard and learned lessons throughout the entirety of his show, both part 1 and 2, in order to obtain true power. This shows Boruto that whoever wins this fight has the correct worldview, and Boruto, then after witnessing Naruto get captured, thus saving the village, now understands his father and turns from a spoiled brat into a full-fledged shinobi with the goal, thanks to Sasuke. This is coming from a born prodigy who has mastered the Rasengan and had 3 natures, just wanting his father to teach him. He is just crying out for help as any child would do. His love is further shown when Boruto sees just how hard and far Naruto would go just for the sake of his own family and village. This arc is truly almost flawless and extremely well written, not only by Boruto's standards, but by the standards of any manga and anime. Very underrated and the best introduction arc I've seen in a while, maybe even top 5 of all times, going off purely introduction arcs. The next time we see Boruto is in the Mujina Bandit arc, and really serving to show how Team Severed now operates post Momoshiki and post the old generation. It builds up to the Owl arc. For what it is not terrible, but it just shows Boruto abandoning this dislike for his father's work and a new understanding, proving he has moved on and is now a soon-to-be full-fledged shinobi. In the next arc, Owl arc, we have the Boruto using all the tools he previously learned from battle, which is the skills as a ninja in both ninjutsu and tactics, outsmarting and overpowering someone like Ao, who has fought in a war with Naruto versus some of the strongest and most intelligent foes we have seen thus far in the series, climbed the ranks to become a guard of the Kage, and outclass many ninja throughout the shinobi world. Boruto is able to outsmart and overpower him, completely taking him out the battle, showing not only his battle IQ, but his battle power. The final conversation he has with Ao shows that Boruto is a lot like Naruto, with his ninja way forcing Ao to comment on it because Boruto defeated him and once he is unable to battle, showed him mercy, and taught him a lesson in being a ninja, the very way and same lessons he learned in the previous Momoshiki arc from Naruto and Sasuke, showing that Boruto is indeed taking these gifts and or knowledge and abilities and using them to change the shinobi world for the better, foreshadowing him becoming just like his father. Next arc we meet Kawaki and the show really starts to ramp up. He entered Boruto's life a troubled and brooding young boy with a dark past and brought a sense of turmoil and conflict into Boruto's world. From the moment of their first encounter, the two clashed both physically and ideologically. Kawaki's presence served as a catalyst for Boruto's growth. Initially, Boruto saw Kawaki as only an antagonist and an outsider, threatening his family and the peace he cherished. This conflict pushed Boruto to confront his own insecurities and question his values as he grappled with the complexities of friendship, loyalty, and the meaning of being a shinobi. As Boruto spent more time with Kawaki, he started to understand the pain and trauma that shaped Kawaki's character. Boruto's perspective expanded beyond his own narrow worldview, allowing him to empathize with Kawaki's struggles and the harsh realities of the shinobi world. This empathy became a driving force for Boruto's growth, as he realized the importance of compassion and understanding in bridging the gaps between individuals. Kawaki's influence also challenged Boruto's relationship with his father, Naruto. Initially resentful of Naruto's absence, Boruto began to see the weight of his father's responsibilities through Kawaki's eyes. He recognized that Naruto's dedication to protecting the village came at the cost of personal relationships, and Boruto's resentment gradually transformed into admiration and understanding. Furthermore, Kawaki's combat prowess and unique abilities pushed Boruto to enhance his own skills and seek self-improvement. Boruto saw Kawaki as a rival and someone to measure himself up against, motivating him to unlock new powers and harness his potential. This drive to surpass Kawaki became a crucial aspect of Boruto's character development, fueling his determination to become a shinobi worthy of respect and recognition. Boruto is able to show his maturity and express his love for his family when he scolds and helps Kawaki to understand what caring about another person means and feels like. Kawaki, whose life has been nothing but cruel things and neglect, even going as far as to him thinking he is hollow, nothing, and a vessel, both figuratively and literally, due to being Ishiki's vessel and not being loved or having any love shown to him from a very young age, while Jigen instilling into him that he is indeed hollow and will only become something once he becomes his father and or instills karma onto him, giving him a reason to live or filling the hole he was metaphorically and literally. This makes Kawaki self-reflect on the vase and it being broken, drawing parallels to himself because the vase can no longer hold water, even is broken like himself. We see more of this when he tries to pick another vase, but it reminds him of the tube that Jigen once used on him as a little kid to implant karma on him, causing him to panic again, even revealing his suicidal thoughts that he's had in the past. The final parallel is drawn between him and the vase when he is speaking to Kurama about becoming like Naruto, and it causes him to cry out of one of his eyes. While Kurama says that he has not dried up yet, we see the vase one more time, having one stream of water going down it to parallel Kawaki's one eye also shedding one tear, showing Kawaki was broken then fixed again, almost completely new like the vase, symbolizing his growth and change while being the same person he is now, made of different and reshaped but the same material. Boruto basically shows Kawaki, or is the beginning of Kawaki's change, just how Sasuke was the beginning of Boruto's change. Again showing Boruto is growing as a person and turning more into a Sasuke and Naruto-liked person. So far to the point to where he can change people just like they have done for him and many others in the past. This is one step closer to becoming a true shinobi, just like Naruto, Kakashi, Sasuke, and or even Jiraiya. People who have their own will of fire and ninja way, people who truly care about others and help change the world for the better. Next time we really get to see Boruto's newfound attitude on display is a direct parallel to Momo seen in the first arc, when he was afraid and sad at the sight of Momoshiki and rushing off in a little kid fit as soon as he awoke from the mini coma that Momoshiki put him in. He instead heads right with Kawaki into another dimension to save his father, just like Sasuke taught him, and even knowing from Kawaki that in some ways this guy is scarier than the guy who injured your mentor and almost killed your father. He doesn't hesitate to try his hardest and even succeeds in rescuing Naruto before inevitably getting knocked out by Boro, during which his inner demon or Momoshiki takes over and deals with Boro swiftly. The fight with Boro is complete and Naruto awakes from the hospital. We see Boruto is extremely excited, no longer holding in his emotions like he did as a kid, but showing them outright. Fast forward, Amato is telling them that Ishiki is revived and will soon come for Kawaki. Naruto and Sasuke prepare for the worst while Boruto demands he's able to enter the battle. Just before, Naruto immediately tries to stop him, but Boruto explains how Naruto and Sasuke are the ones who got defeated by Jigen already and almost died, so how are they going to fight someone who's even stronger and can end the very world that they know? He even goes as far as to shout that he is worried for their lives, proving to us yet again that Boruto has become a true shinobi and is willing to put his life on the line to protect the ones he loves, just like in the original Naruto, we were taught by Kakashi Jiraiya, and even Naruto and Sasuke, both of their bodies being able to move on their own to protect one another. Sasuke then asks Boruto that since him and Naruto are willing to die at any moment in Boruto, will Boruto be able to do the same? Which Boruto gets his response cut off by the panel, but we later see his resolve against a foe that can end the world as we know it. Boruto in one conversation has not only showed emotional drive comparable to seasoned shinobi such as Naruto and Sasuke, but also has shown his ninja way and will of fire, all within one interaction. Naruto again yells that he won't tell Boruto to evacuate again, as he's leaving, but Sasuke needs to have a conversation with Boruto off panel. In this conversation, Boruto outright says he's prepared to die, just like Naruto and Sasuke, but we start to see another big shift in his character, which is how he is actually feeling about becoming Momoshiki and him taking over him. It scares him even more than death, showing his inner depression for the first time, which Sasuke is weary of, but still asserts Ishiki's crazy power that surpasses the guy, who they couldn't even put a dent in. Sasuke tells Boruto he is prepared to kill him as his mentor, but Boruto understands and just wants to save Kawaki and everyone else. So they both come up with a plan, all while this 12-year-old boy just came to the realization that it's hopeless. Someone else is trying to take over his body, and his mentor will also probably be forced to kill him. The mental strength Boruto has at such a young age, even being a shinobi, surpasses both Naruto and Sasuke at that age. By far, he is depressed, fighting inner demons and outer demons, while worried sick about his father, mentor, family, and the entire village, all while knowing he might die anytime either to Momoshiki or Sasuke, and he still decides to go with the plan and fight Ishiki. But it doesn't end there. Once he is cornered by Ishiki, he reflects on the intel he learned from Boro, again showing his in-battle IQ and his ability to come up with things on the spot about the plan, and again attempts to outsmart Ishiki by pulling a kunai and saying he won't hesitate to end himself. Just so the plan for the God Tree won't work, and he almost succeeds if it wasn't for Ishiki's cracked dojutsu, then gets his wrist broken and knocked out with a broken spine, causing the thing he feared the most and feared more than death itself to happen, Momoshiki emerging once more, further plunging him into a darkness or Great Depression. Momoshiki then off guards fatigued Sasuke, getting rid of his Rinnegan and only way to get home, and begins to fight his friend and the guy he tried to save, Kawaki. Both all while Boruto is sitting in darkness watching this all play out. The fight causes Momoshiki, who has taken over Boruto's body, to draw blood from both Kawaki and Sasuke, injuring them, but once Kawaki finally decides to go to the next level to rid Momo of his plan, it forces Momo to cause Boruto to awaken, which allows Boruto to rip away his own horn from his own skull and make Momo go back in, causing extreme pain and taking extreme willpower just to temporarily rid them of the threat that is Momoshiki. After this, within the next arc, we get subtle hints after Boruto's growing depression, with it starting first from the realization that in order to rid himself of the karma, he has to either gain his own vessel, which he will then implant his own karma onto, burdening them with the same fate that he has currently, which means hurting someone else and forcing it on someone, even if it's a villain like Code, which he said he didn't really want to do. Boruto is then giving meds, which suppresses his Otsutsukification, but he explains to Naruto that he's been preparing for the worst for a while now, which is why he swallowed the pills so fast, giving more insight on his secret depression and bad thoughts. reflecting on how Kawaki was when he first appeared within the manga. Boruto is now becoming someone that, regardless of all of his achievements and growth as a character that we've seen thus far in the Boruto manga, he's becoming someone just like Kawaki. Someone who he's helped in the past and got out of a dark spot and dark position with the help of his father. He is being shown that he is not all powerful and that he is almost powerless in the grand scheme of things, and he can't just always overcome his obstacles. He is truly depressed, and now he has begun to hide it with a facade. During training with Kawaki, he is still, after the battle, trying to teach Kawaki more about being a shinobi and a good person while battling with his inner demons. When he tells him to lean on his friends and sometimes to trust them because that's what shinobi do. This almost being hypocritical because he is not leaning on his friends or any of his allies or family while he's dealing with this inner depression and inner demons, furthering his character development and showing us that he is a flawed and relatable character. Days pass by and Boruto starts to wonder if the pills are working, because no good or bad signs have emerged, seeing he has lost his optimistic mindset for right now, and we even see Boruto's smile drawn kind of weird or fake. I think that's giving us hints as to what's to come. After catching up with Kawaki, after he left the village, he finds Code and reminds Kawaki that it's his job to watch and protect him as a family and friend. During the battle, we see his karma increases, and Code informs him that the medicine that Amato gave him does not work, and he is still a Otsutsuki, but Boruto doesn't care. He's still putting it all off for the time being, and he even says he will worry about that later, showing his bottled up emotions, his biggest fears, which isn't good for depression, especially someone of that age. While fighting Boruto, he then collapses and gets a familiar feeling. Time has stopped and Momoshiki prepares to take over once more, this time with a full amount of Boruto's chakra pool. Momoshiki begins to do battle with Kawaki and his newly awakened karma. Boruto starts to gain consciousness and realizing he was so close to killing his own father with the massive Rasengan that Momoshiki was going to let loose on Naruto, and also Kawaki, who was going to get caught within the back end of the Rasengan, he makes the ultimate decision. While explaining how the pills are only a temporary solution for the permanent problem that is Momoshiki, Boruto decides to allow Kawaki to kill him, finally showing all the resolve he's been building up for 66 chapters, and goes with him and Kawaki, last resort or last plan or final option. Even pushing away Naruto because Naruto tried to stop him, Boruto dies by the hand of his brother, the one he loved just like a family member. Momoshiki resurrects Boruto to stop the reincarnation process, but showing Boruto his fears have become true and he is now not only 100% Otsutsuki, Momoshiki can still take over now, so the problem of him still is not solved. Boruto coming to the conclusion that now he is not only not human, but still has to look out for Momoshiki hurting everyone and his friends and family. Momoshiki then repeats the phrase, "Those blue eyes shall eventually take everything from you." After everything is settled, Boruto's problem intensifies, and now he has to keep it a secret that his brother killed him, further bottling up all of his emotions just like he has been doing these past 2 arcs. Boruto now explains everything to Sasuke and tells him the reason Kawaki did it was because it was the last resort and they are brothers, showing Boruto is lying to himself and he knows Kawaki didn't just do it for that reason and that reason alone, because even Sasuke repeats this phrase as if it is cope or a fake reason. In the middle of Boruto, on top of all of this happening over the span of a couple days and or weeks, gets alerted another enemy has appeared within the leaf. After everything has died down, fast forward, we see Boruto getting dressed and ready to go as he usually does, but in complete silence. He then looks down at his shirt, necklace, or chest, worried, giving more insight into that he's thinking of bad thoughts, depressing thoughts, or sad thoughts. He goes downstairs to put on his shoes as Hinata sees him going off while crying, telling him she knows she has to see him off, worrying for him, and he starts to give reasons as to why she shouldn't be worried, showing his facade and declares he's definitely coming back, making her a promise that is soon to be broken, while his little sister just listens from behind the door in secret. As he leaves, he is met with Momoshiki, telling him that his future is filled with nothing but despair, and how everything will go wrong soon enough. And Boruto will be so depressed and filled with despair that he will get taken over by Momoshiki forever and forced to watch as Momo lives out his life as Boruto Uzumaki for him. because Boruto wanted to escape the world and lost his will to live. Boruto, while sweating and looking concerned, tries to shove it off and keep up his facade, basically telling Momoshiki no, he will not lose his will to live. Later on, he meets Kawaki after Kawaki tells him he's surprised he's back. Boruto says he's perfectly fine and tries again to brush it off, afterwards being tasked with being watchdogs to Ida and Damon since they aren't affected by her charm ability. After meeting Damon and Ida and even fighting Damon alongside Kawaki, we find out Momoshiki and Boruto are now sharing thoughts. Momoshiki explains the Ida and Damon situation to Boruto, then shows him a vision of the future. This vision is all of Boruto's friends fighting and hurt and angry, which causes Boruto to look very depressed and scared, even starts to sweat so much he seems like he's on the verge of a panic attack, which alerts even Ida, but she doesn't comment. Boruto then is lying in bed replaying Momoshiki's words, showing that all of it was a facade and he's actually been struggling mentally and emotionally to cope with the idea of his life becoming ripped apart and ripped away from him. This is shown to us to be keeping Boruto awake and thinking about only that, while him and Kawaki are on the couch, he then gets discovered that he's talking to Momoshiki, which means he's met with yet another problem. Boruto, to cover this up, tries to lie to Kawaki and brush it off, but Kawaki only runs away, not wanting to hear anything, which causes Boruto to sweat and enter another panic. Afterwards, Boruto is met with the news that Kawaki has sealed off Naruto and Hinata, which, again, is another bad news. All of this in the span of months, weeks, or days to a 12-year-old kid. Boruto immediately chases to go find him and a battle erupts. They start to have a ideological and physical clash with each other, Boruto trying to understand and calm down Kawaki, while Kawaki asserting his way is the absolute and correct way, thus trying to kill Boruto. Boruto being forced to save Sarada after she intervened and getting his fabled eye scar. Everyone intervenes within the battle and holds back Kawaki, Shikamaru using shadow paralysis and Mitsuki using his stretching arms to hold back Kawaki's one hand. Boruto has suffered so much physical damage that he loses consciousness, forcing Momoshiki to take over and him helping Kawaki escape. Momoshiki then tells Boruto it can no longer be stopped as the prophecy begins. Boruto is now panicking, trying to get answers from Momoshiki, while also dealing with the Kawaki situation, making the audience wonder, will his character revert into the little boy he once was, causing him to sulk and be childish, or will all of this growth pay off? Mitsuki suddenly turns on Boruto and goes into Sage mode, attacking him at once, making Boruto wonder what's going on, making Momoshiki explain omnipotence and how Kawaki basically stole his life and switched positions with him. Boruto runs into Team 10 trying to evade all of the attacks and evaluate the situation at hand, all while dealing with all of this emotional and physical turmoil all at once. Momo continues to go at Boruto, taunting him, saying he will slaughter all of his friends, while Boruto yells at him to shut up, telling him don't lay a finger on his friends, while knowing that they have turned on him. He hasn't turned his back on them. Sasuke swoops in to save the day, and they run off far away, with now even his beloved mentor not trusting him and basically thinking he is the enemy of the Leaf, while the entire world is on the hunt for Boruto, combined with his father and mother disappearing and little sister within enemy hands. Will his character revert into the little boy he once was? No, he asserts he has the blood of the fourth and his father, alongside the Hyuga blood with a smile on his face, proclaims his will of fire and says he's going to do what his father would do and stop Kawaki without it ending in a blood battle. He then shouts his name as Boruto Uzumaki and he will show everyone. And that's where we are currently. Before the time skip, Boruto's character arc completed as a kid. Now, some minority of people thought this was a bit out of character for him and strange that he had so much willpower. But like this video has showed you, including every arc and Amato even saying he's similar to Naruto, that should tell you about his extreme willpower and ninja way. This climax also being a callback to how Naruto and Sasuke could only understand each other because of their bond and fights, paralleling with how Boruto understands Kawaki. This is the perfect conclusion, and makes the most sense for the character, proving that all of his development and growth has paid off. His role was always supposed to be reversed from Naruto, which is the perfect plot for a show like Boruto. And being that this is his son, and from what we are taught in Naruto that the will of fire was definitely going to be passed down, My expectations for him as a character are completely surpassed, and I am genuinely excited to see where he goes next.